Savage. His primary focus is to find an artifact that will help his home, the Minotaur city-state of Voskia, and the Order of the Maze that he represents as he traverses the world. In his order, he is called a navigator, a young adventurer who will find his place in the church and Voskian society through great deeds. Minotaurs are sometimes seen as primitive barbarians in Almora, but Theseus considers himself quite civilized. He enjoys solving problems, using logic in conflicts, and helping people navigate the labyrinth in acts of self-discovery. As he travels, he hopes that he can disprove the belief that all Minotaurs are evil and savage, and learn a thing or two along the way.
Barley Brawn is a 3-foot-tall, 30-pound halfling rogue. He can easily be thrown. He is very self-serving and very individualistic, doesn't tend to get along well with others, but is so desperate for fun and entertainment in his own life that he is desperate for this kind of adventure. So he'll be interesting to play, I think.
Gaius Berzin is a human one-armed fighter who comes from the land of Hals. Years ago, he was a soldier in the Halsian army, until one day he comes home to his hometown of Ebonstone to find that his wife and children had been murdered in a raid from Valaris. He swore vengeance on those who killed his family, but in his rage, he loses his arm. He falls on hard times and hard drinks for a few years, but eventually he comes to realize that life is still worth living, and swears to live life to the fullest until he can meet his family again in the next life.
Hi everyone, my name is Christine, and I am playing Vita Teidai, pronouns they, them, a lizard folk wild magic sorcerer. They come from a community where there has not been a wild magic user in quite some time, so their magic is pretty out of control, and when they decided maybe they wanted to go see the world, their village was very excited about it. So now, Vita's just out roaming around trying to get their magic under control. And that's when they meet up with this party.
My name is Robbie, and I play Red in the Almora RPG campaign, along with his faithful companion and sidekick, Herschel. Red is a shifter ranger who grew up in Perea in a tiny little town called Aramor. One day, his entire town was destroyed. When he was 5, he eventually made his way to Nagwal over near the coast. Some of his personality is that because he's been, just out hunting for a good portion of his life, he doesn't have the best social skills. He gets his stuff done. He's pretty quiet, but also determined and very methodical about getting it done, and super reliable about getting it done. He's gonna see it through. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks.
So I play Rhythm, a tabaxi druid. I grew up in a little town called Hazeldrum, which is on the border between Perea and Halls. I grew up there with my adoptive mother, a human woman who found me wandering in the forests when I was about a year old. She died a few years back. And I found out pretty darn quick that without her protection, I was not welcome in Hazeldrum anymore. So I've been wandering. I ran into some druids who taught me druidic magics and helped me harness some powers that I've had pretty much my entire life. But I've been sticking to the outskirts, avoiding towns and villages. But I ran into this Minotaur a little while ago named Theseus, who has been, making me wonder if I should give towns a second chance. So now he and I are trying to figure out what to make of life as two kind of strange creatures in this weird world. But that's me. That's Rhythm.
Theseus.
Oh shit, is it time?
What's up, nerds?
Hi, nerds!
Hey,
So, how's it going, everybody?
You know.
Pew pew.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm exhausted. If you are a regular viewer, all three of you, you may know that I'm driving an hour and 45 minutes one way to work, hour and 45 minutes back. It sucks, but I got my keys to a new place today.
That's so fun.
Hell
Yeah.
But
Keys.
it's on the 3rd floor, and I carried like 10 boxes upstairs before I fucking gave out. I was so goddamn tired. I was like half unemployed and quarantined for like a year, so my leg muscles are nothing now. So anyway, if anybody lives
I know
in the
that
Hickory
feeling.
area and just loves carrying shit upstairs, hit me up.
That's gonna be me in a week, dude. I feel ya.
Oh, I'm sorry. So last time you guys were discussing a name. I had a very bad week last week, and so left you guys to discuss that name some more. If I remember correctly, and I don't, that's why I'm pulling out this book. You guys were in the Blue Cask
Yeah.
in the Rose
Yes.
Scepter District.
Yep.
You
We
were
had
met
just met Samulu.
Sumulu, correct. And I need to pull up that document too. There we go.
No, Allie. No, I
You
didn't.
you guys went to bed discussing what the name of your group would be. Why is Fieri Fist in
Yeah,
this
that's.
campaign?
We're fixing it. We're fixing
Oh,
it. You're
okay.
fine.
Remember what you said?
I tried to slyly message Robbie and be like, "Hey, what's up?" And now both of you have called it out. Okay.
You remember what you said about just there being a lot going on and stuff? Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough.
What up?
Guys, so tonight's going to be a little bit of a short stream so we can do some housekeeping stuff afterwards since everybody's got time right now. And it may be a little bit of a scattered stream because it seems like we are all very tired. So this is a low stress, low stakes stream. Minus one twist that we will get to in a moment. The group is in the Blue Cask. You were discussing the name of the group. I didn't hear any of it. So in character, for my benefit, my understanding is that you guys have come to a conclusion, but let the DM hear the final results of that discussion.
Oh, are we doing a thing?
Well, like at this point, I'd imagine that Barley and I have been keeping pace with each other, and so he is passed out, like totally drunk, and I'm just like very sloshed. I can't say that word. Why do I always that word?
Vita thinks Rhythm has at least 100 pounds on Barley.
Yeah. So I am very drunk while Barley is passed out. I'm like, okay, we need to actually have something to tell Samulu tomorrow as to what we're called.
What about the Charismaniacs?
We are both of those things.
Is this a trope?
I'd say we're pretty charismatic, yeah. Maniacs, maybe a little too much on that.
Gaius.
But you know.
Gaius.
As
Rhythm just points at herself.
as Gaius says this, Red just kind of looks at Herschel and is like, "This guy, really?"
It's like,
What?
Gaius, do you really think I'm not a maniac?
Oh, I mean, I know you are. It's just
See, so it's perfect.
perfect. It fits. We're not the most stable group.
Exactly.
Speak for yourselves.
Well,
And- I mean, if we have to change it in a like couple months or whatever, that's a possibility. But like for now, it's who we are.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
We could always be magnificent bastards, but
I mean, we're also that, but I kind of like the one word name, just like blending it together. It suits.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because it's a hodgepodge of things.
And we are, if nothing else, a hodgepodge of whatever we are.
Hodgepodge. Yeah. I like it. It's got a nice ring to it.
So what is the consensus?
Charismaniacs.
Okay. And I'm going to ask this in a completely innocuous way. Are you confirming that you would like for Samulu to introduce you to the Empress of the Beacon Empire, the largest trade empire of this entire planet, as the Charismaniacs? Is that what I'm gathering here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
It fits on all kinds of levels.
The Empress knows what the Empress is getting at this point. It is honest advertising.
I can assure you she does not.
It's why we have Tanreal to back us up.
That's also why we've got a note saying that we're cool.
Okay.
We cool.
You guys tuck in for bed in the blue cask, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
You wake up the next day. As you make your way downstairs to get breakfast, Theseus comes down the stairs, and he just goes, "Barley's missing," and walks out the door.
What?
Fucking shit. Not
What?
again.
Uh-oh.
Didn't Rhythm drink barley under the table and then back on top and then under again? How?
Okay, this isn't my fault.
Wait, does Barley have enemies?
Probably.
At least here in Beacon Empire, because that's where Barley is from, yes?
Okay, then the answer's definitely.
Oh.
Yeah, probably.
Considering Theseus is one-man army, Vita's so jealous of guardian spirits, so very jealous of that spell. Vita wants it.
Yeah.
Can't always get what you want.
Vita jumps up at this point, kind of over their shock, and goes to door and looks down the street to see if they can see where Theseus went.
Theseus is just looking around for clues, kind of wandering around, bull-like, you might say.
Bullheaded.
Friend Theseus, are you good?
He is zoned out, just looking for clues.
Okay, buddy. Good luck. Vita goes back.
You know where to find us. I yell out the door frame.
Pardon the sniffles, everyone. My allergies are kicking up.
Okay.
I kind of trust Theseus to,
figure it out.
Get some news and come back at us, because we've kind of got a meeting, don't we?
It's true.
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of weird going without Theseus and Barley, but I guess we could update them later. I'm sure Barley will be fine. Maybe. Possibly. He might
all
lose
the
a
drinking does not kill
okay.
Barley. Barley must be difficult to kill.
Can I have Herschel roll perception to see if he heard or smelt anything last night that might pertain to this?
Yeah. You can do a smell check. Give yourself advantage. Do a smell check on perception.
Yeah, okay. High was a dirty 20.
Okay. He is able to sniff out the correct pile of vomit where Barley was. gets to the door, but this is the largest city in the world. The smells are overwhelming almost even for Herschel. So he kind of like gives you the impression through the kind of communication that you guys have that like I'm kind of picking up scents, but they're not lasting long because there are too many other scents for me to catch on to.
Gotcha.
He knows that Barley was there, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours ago.
Okay. Also, outside of the game, do you want the picture up, Brian, or do you? I just have Fantasy Grounds showing.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Okay, I didn't know if we were.
Go. Oh, I was gonna have you put that in place of on the stream where Barley's name is.
Oh, yeah, I can do that too. Yeah, let me fix some things.
Yeah, that may be there for.
Go ahead. I'll fix things up while we're doing this. Sorry, I wasn't.
Okay.
Everything's good.
Like, what time is it in the morning? Like, that we all are figuring this out?
7:30, 7:45, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Samulu has not come for you yet. It's early enough that you haven't been summoned.
Okay. Can I go outside and, like, find Theseus and, like, run up next to him and do the, like, annoying kid sister poking him until he pays attention to me?
You go outside and Theseus is already gone.
Oh, shit.
Hot on the trail.
Okay. Yeah, no, I trust him. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Our friends might die.
He is huge. He is huge bull person. Theseus will be okay.
Vita?
Yes.
Like, just a couple days ago, he passed out in the street and we all got sucked into another dimension by one of his deities.
So what are odds this will happen so soon?
True. Okay. Yeah, let's go. We're fine. I'm gonna go get breakfast.
Great!
Okay.
I'm just gonna look bewildered, just what is happening.
I'm gonna look at Gaius and like, and this is why we're the Charismaniacs.
I see.
It's perfect!
It could be Gaius and the Charismaniacs. That sounds like awesome band name.
The other group that I DM for in Shelby is called Dornick and the Revolution because one of the characters' name is Dornick.
Nice.
Yeah. And we all like Prince.
This is a step up from me and Pat's other game because we were the Demon Chicken Party.
I mean, were you guys presenting yourselves as the saviors of the world to nobility?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, cool. On brand.
Uh-huh.
It's sometimes the most
I'm just,
unlikeliest of beings are the ones that you need.
Also, the nobility makes a very small percentage of populace. Therefore, we are properly representing the whole of society, not just the rich.
Fair enough. Okay, so Theseus is long gone, looking for Barley.
He gone.
You guys are back in the inn, eating your breakfast. Samulu hasn't shown up yet. What would you like to do?
Vita finishes their breakfast and then wanders over to the public notice section of the bar to see, like, anything that's been posted up that is of interest.
Let's find out. So the problem with this being the largest city in the world is that my document for this city is fucking massive.
Massive.
Yeah, so there's nothing really here that catches your attention. There's so much that it's hard for anything to stand out. It's like those old message boards that like haven't been maintained for decades. You find like posters for theater events that are dated years ago.
Oh, I see.
that kind of thing. There's nothing really new. No one pays attention to them anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but you get the impression that this is not the way that people get their work in a town this large.
Can
Vita
I-
flounces back at the table and pouts. Vita was hoping for local color. Disappointing.
I'm gonna ask whoever's tending the bar. Is Samulu usually late?
Tatani is the barkeeper. And he looks at you. It's been 2 weeks since I've even thought about Tatani. I have no idea what voice Tatani had. Sometimes I make notes, and sometimes I'm like, oh, fuck, and just start talking. So sorry if this is inconsistent. But Tatani just goes, that's the first time he's ever come in here. So, I don't know.
Sorry, I'm with that one. Where do people usually find him then?
Oh, in the Dragon's Burrow. He is always near the Empress.
Does that?
Why was he here last night then?
Oh, I think he was looking for you guys, was he not?
Oh, I guess, yeah, he might have gotten a message that we were coming into town. I can't remember actually how we all connected. He did get okay, out of game, sorry. He did get a message from someone that we were here, right?
Yes.
He got a message
Rogar.
from our BFF Tanril, right?
I believe it was Tanril.
Oh,
Cool,
okay. I was about to
cool,
say, was it
okay.
Rogar?
I don't think it was Rogar. I think Rogar is... Rogar's doing some other shit.
And, sorry, Samulu just told us that we can find him in the Dragon what?
Dragon's Burrow.
Dragon's Burrow.
Thank you.
I assume
So-
it's kind of the center point of the city.
It is. Robbie, do you have the beacon map that I sent out a while ago?
Maybe.
If not, I can put it in the Skype chat if you want to put it in on top of Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah, let me get back to my assets real quick. I don't think I do.
No
yeah,
problem.
I don't have the one. I
This
don't
is
have the
a-
one that has all of the different. Yeah, put that up real quick and I'll.
Yeah. This is a rough draft. It's just for reference's sake. This is basically like Ursula Le Guin's map of Earthsea where she drew it in with color pencil and crayon.
Perfect.
Except I drew it with software that's way better than that, but it still looks like I did it with color pencil and crayon because I'm not artistic at all.
It looks better than you think.
Well, thank you.
There we go. It's now up.
Noise.
Work.
So, just as a quick kind of tour of this area. Well, I tell you what, actually, everybody make a quick history check. Just to see if you'll have this information, whether or not this is going to be chaos.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Hang on.
Yeah,
Hang on.
You said history?
Yeah.
I got a 25.
All
I
right.
didn't get that.
14.
18?
15.
Okay. So this is like the Manhattan of Almora, right? This is the place that everyone knows about a little bit. It's Manhattan, London, and Paris all kind of built into one because Almora doesn't have significantly large cities for various reasons. And so you guys pick up general knowledge just by living in this world. Red, on the other hand, probably read a book about it at some point with a 25.
I do have a sage
looking at-
background, so.
Yeah. So looking at this map, just as a quick overview, I'm not going to like go into a lot of detail. We can do that on an alternative stream. You guys are in the Rose Scepter District, which is on the sort of southeastern side of this city. The Rose Scepter District is it's the type of place where when people are coming into town, it's the first district you find after you go through the main gates. And so it's like a lot of semi-bougie hotels and touristy type things. The excuse me, Temple District, a little bit north of that, is where most of the primary religions temples have set up, but the largest one is a temple to the quiet gods. There is a rival district, or there is a rival temple, sort of like, obviously not proclaimed rival, but everyone kind of knows that there's, a little bit of rivalry to some of the lesser gods. Something that we'll get into later because I'm still in the process of writing all of this. There are actually 12 gods beneath each of the quiet gods, and they all have their own little domains. So,
Give me this lore.
I'm working on it. Actually, I can tell you, I don't have names yet because I'm very particular about names, but I can at least tell you what they do. Let's find out. They are called the Spoken Gods. And Nadel, who is the god of the goddess of mercy and compassion and moonlight and all of that kind of stuff, has 12 gods. One of charm, one of ocean, one of love, healing, magic, chaos, death, the trickster, wisdom, time, outcasts, and melancholy.
Hell yeah.
I'll send you a thing for this. Urdir on the other side of the spectrum, because all of these gods have a god that aligns with them on basically a triangle. On the other side of a spectrum, Urdir has a god of truth, agriculture, lust, war, crafts like smithing and carpentry, order, wealth, and feast, and that's the rival temple in Beacon because they're a commerce company or empire. Justice, strength, the plains, community, and vengeance. Ambin is the balance of those two forces, and so there, because Ambin's non-binary, their domain gods are dreams, wild nature, fertility, hearth, home, arts, balance, the hunt, the void, luck, fate, travelers, and decay. So the way that this kind of works in my mind is, for example, Nadel has charm, Urdir has truth. Charming truths are dreams, so Ambin's domain turns into dreams.
Gotcha.
Nadel has the ocean, Urdir has agriculture, so a mix of wild nature is what comes into Ambin's realm. So all of the gods sort of like merge together into something in Ambin's domain. Wealth and feast, they're super about that in Beacon. That god has a pretty big following here. And you'll find that there are kind of like two temples on each side of this district that don't necessarily get along. The Heart District are where a lot of the nobility live because it's in between the temple and the Dragon's Burrow. Dragon's Burrow is where the primary castle is, where Beacon lives. The Arcanist Ward has a lot of arcane shit. Greenfair Village is one of the only remaining forests in the area. The docks are docks. Big surprise.
What?
Citadel District, Bright Sword Ward, and the Carriage District are all where the people who, where a lot of the guards are, because on the other side of that wall is the Halcyon nation. There's a market, there's a Brook Ward, there's Pool Ward. Chroma Village is also like a sacred but like forested area, but it's primarily just for the nobility and the Empress. So anyway, quick rough tour of kind of how this all pieces together. Roughly, it would take you 4 days to walk north to south because it's so large, 3 days to walk east to west in this city, which in D&D terms means that it is
Massive.
Yes. 21, 24. It's 96 miles north to south. Bless you. And 72 miles east to west.
Hey guys, all
Yeah.
of this is from his own brain, which is my way of reminding anyone watching. This is fucking homebrew, man. All of this is just like shit that Brian came up with. So, like, let's give him
That's
some
true.
props. Give us a subscription. Give us money.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Also, I'm gonna go give me a sandwich. I'll be right back.
Monster!
That's no
left us!
monster's a drink, not a sandwich.
Touche.
Could you imagine if like somebody made like bread that was infused with Monster energy drink?
Oh, no.
Yikes, no.
Uh-uh.
No, thank you.
It's gonna be weird, sweety, soury bread. Ugh.
No.
Must be like kind of wet.
Hey,
Not okay with this thought.
hey Brian, clarification.
Okay.
We're
yes.
in the Rose Scepter district, not the South Rose Scepter district, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
The South Rose Scepter district is where the people who can't afford to stay in the most touristy areas, they come in, take a left, and go there.
Gotcha.
It is the this is a very specific way of explaining this, but it is the space between Columbus Square and 114th on Manhattan Island.
Yeah, I went to Manhattan once. I don't know any of it.
It's the space between two really big touristed areas
Gotcha.
that like people can kind of still afford to go to and live at, that kind of thing. It's close to stuff, and it's not like the shady. It's not Hell's Kitchen. It's not the Bronx. It's not the shadiest part, but it's not great either.
Gotcha.
It's like awkwardly far from Central Park, depending on where you are on it. It's like awkwardly far from like South Manhattan, from depending on where you are. It's like awkwardly far from any of the cultural Harlem things going on. It's just like the area.
Gotcha. Good to know.
Cool.
So
Also, everyone, while Brian's getting sandwiched up, don't forget check out Ivan Dutch and his music that's playing behind us right now.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ivan Dutch has allowed us to use his music for our streams. It is exactly what we've been needing for a long time, and we are very appreciative of that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ivan.
His information is in the about us, like used resources on Twitch, and I can actually put it in our chat in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, not exactly 5. Please don't count me down. It's not going to be that quick.
1, 2.
Don't.
3.
I said don't hold me to that. No.
Okay, so you guys have Red gives you this like rough and tumble tour of where you guys are. You guys also know that there are people from all over the world here. If you want to do business in any significant way, it goes through Beacon. I'm trying to think if there's anything else of importance. Oh, the founders of Beacon were Dragonborn, and so the royal lineage tends to be Dragonborn. There's a weird blip in history where they weren't. It didn't go well. And so now they're back to the actual lineage of Esthus Beacon, who was the founder of the Beacon Empire. Started just in the city, started moving and doing trade agreements with the other places, and bringing them into his empire. And so the Dragonborn here are like, just naturally regarded as maybe a little bit higher standard than other folks. Otherwise, a lot of apathy towards other races and people. Like, you can't do anything weird here. No one bats an eye, that kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Vita's very relieved to hear this.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no.
Oh shit, we've got to mess with Brian.
All right, go
Thanks,
for it.
Adam.
Maybe what we needed tonight, maybe what we didn't need, but
It's fine.
I don't even know how to mess with them tonight.
I mean, the world is messing with him, like, for the past 3 weeks. So, like...
It's true.
And Brian, you got a new place to live, you piece of shit.
It's all your fault, actually.
It's true.
So for everybody who doesn't know what an incredible human being Rob is, Rob let me borrow a shit ton of money to make this happen.
Hell yeah, Rob.
Rob,
I can't talk about it too much because the IRS will get mad, but just know that Rob's a good dude.
there's a song in a kids TV show, and it's about Rob, and it's called "We're Number One," and it's about Rob. It's got a really sick sax line in it, and like it's banging.
Also, to our viewers, I promise when I get moved into this place, I'll stop eating on stream. It's just because I had to drive to get here in time.
Look at that cat right there. Look at
Also,
that.
I might still do it. I don't know. We'll see.
No promises.
I'm a disaster buy without being buy. My life is a fucking mess.
Disaster
Anyway.
hut?
Yeah, disaster
I guess-
hut.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Um,
All sexualities can be disasters. It's just the
Absolutely.
buys are most known for it.
Could
See, that needs to be a
a
t-shirt.
disaster like cis be like a cisaster or something?
Yeah.
Would that would
Yeah.
I don't want to assume that like I've said anything right or wrong, but I don't.
Oh my god, that's
So
perfect.
you make that call. You know, like you are a cis person, so that is kind of within your purview to make that statement.
Yeah,
That's
I don't.
perfect.
I guess.
I need that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, cisaster needs to be a t-shirt for us.
That's
for
gonna
sure.
be on one of our next t-shirts.
By the way, I'm stripping because I don't want to get mustard on
Yeah,
my
see,
work
he's
shirts.
totally being a cisaster right now. He's
Oh, it's that kind of stream, everybody.
Yeah, sorry.
We're desperate for those viewers.
I'm so sorry to everyone who's ever seen me naked.
I need to find that
Right.
picture Brian sent a long time ago of him as a kid with that face, like that. He's got this face, and just put that on a shirt with the word cisaster on it. I think.
Or just take a screenshot of this.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, you guys are getting a history lesson from Red. What would you like to do after that's over?
I'd like to find out like how people get around in a city that's freaking large, and talk to the barkeep. Could ask Red, but I don't want to make him talk too long.
Appreciate
Barkeep,
that.
who has a voice that's very significantly like mine right now, says that a lot of people use small streams if they can afford small boats. There is a large stream that goes through the Brook Ward and the market into the West Beck Bay. There are smaller streams that go into the East Beck Bay, which I don't have labeled on this map because I forgot to do it because we just discussed it. But there are small streams that do go through a lot of the districts. There are people who can afford horses and carriages who use that. And there are a lot of people who live in poverty who just like fucking hoof it. It's not unlike a lot of large cities where people can live an entire life and never see more than a few blocks outside of where they live.
That's fair.
Vita doesn't sense a wild magic surge coming on, so perhaps that is out of question.
Cast a spell.
Oh, okay. One sec. God, what am I doing? Getting conned into this? You're playing me, and I'm
Are
gonna
you trying
do
to get a wild magic surge so you can fly to the other end of the?
it. Vita can dream, okay?
Sorry, I've been in the woods
okay,
a lot. I've seen many wild magic sorcerers and sorceresses
Great.
attempt this.
Okay, so Vita's just gonna cast message because that's like the one spell that they have that is not immediately destructive.
Okay.
And just like say Vita hopes this one is good. in message to Red.
Red nods his head and replies back, "Here we go."
Who all is standing near Vita?
Oh no.
I'm by them.
I am
I am at the counter, so like wherever Vita's near it, then
I'm near. I'm
nearby a pet bird.
I'm near enough.
Okay, I'm gonna say you are all within 30 feet of Vita then.
Yeah.
And for the purpose of simplicity, I'm gonna say that Vita is not within 30 feet of Tatani, the barkeep.
Okay, good.
Just out of range.
Everybody takes 2 points of necrotic damage.
Are you shitting me?
Except, Vita, you regain the spell slot that you just used.
Okay, Vita won't try that again.
Ow.
Red looks down at Herschel and just goes, "That went about how I expected."
At least Theseus isn't here to question your usefulness with us right now. So, like, bonus.
Vita is not here for that conversation.
Red is gonna look at Vita and say, "Look, I spent a long time, most of my life, out in the woods doing wood stuff and just jobs and stuff in the woods. Don't worry about it. But a lot of times, wild magic sorcerers and sorceresses will come out in the woods and attempt stuff because they don't think they can hurt anyone out there, and a lot of times they end up hurting themselves or something around them. Like they're trying to see where this goes, and it never quite goes the way they want it to."
So the lesson Vita is hearing is go back to desert and try wild magic surges.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue and say don't do that because I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But yeah, the less people around, the better for everyone else.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, or like...
Yeah, because it
maybe...
felt like you took a ladle into my very being and just sort of scooped something out. I was not a fan.
Vita does not want to do that again. Vita is very sorry.
Yeah, or like maybe just like magic when magic is like absolutely needed, because then if like side effects happen, it's not quite as bad. And we're kind of expecting to get hurt when we're fighting, so like,
Great.
We love you though.
No, this is on Vita. Vita made this call. Vita made bad but Vita made call.
I'm just, you can make all the attempts you want. I'm just saying, in my experience, it's never worked out.
But like in related news, does anyone want a good berry?
Yeah, I'll take one.
I'll take a good berry.
Great. Right.
Everyone heal 1 point of health.
Do you have... Can you eat more than one good berry a day, or does it fill you up so much that you can only eat one?
I think you can only eat one.
That's what I thought. I couldn't remember.
You can keep eating them.
Oh, you can? Okay, who wants a second good berry?
I'll take a second one.
I can make 10 of them.
I'll take a second one. I'm fully healed now.
I'll take a second one, yeah, sure.
Okay, we don't tell Theseus that this ever happened.
The dumb teenage lizard did a dumb teenage thing. We don't need to tell Dad.
Other dad.
Oh, yeah. Theseus is more like
yeah.
bossy older brother, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I make 10 good berries, so we can each take 2.
Sweet. I'm healed.
So
Herschel can also take 2.
Should we keep waiting here for Samulu, or should we on over?
Can I remember, did Samulu actually say he would find us? Or are we just assuming that? Did he say he'd just see us tomorrow?
He said he would come to escort you to the Dragon's Burrow.
Okay.
In the morning.
We should not go looking for him, probably. Because usually if you go looking for someone who's looking for you, you end up walking in circles.
Perhaps we should spend moments to get story straight for Empress. That way it's not crazy garbled mess.
That is actually a really good idea, Vita.
Vita has one or two good ideas.
Well,
Sometimes.
They're non-magical.
There you go.
we could give the entire recap of just the general idea that we had a dream to come to God. I don't remember the name of that town.
Yeah, so let's get our story straight. What were the big points of, like, we all had that dream that we were getting. We're in a town getting attacked by what we now know to be, like, that angel dude. Not angel dude, demon dude. Fighting an angel.
Would we say that this was dream sent by quiet gods?
Yeah. Yes?
It would lend some
Well-
credibility to story.
It would indeed.
Yeah, and then we asked for, is it Paris? Were we in Paris? Did we go to Paris?
Yes.
Yes. Our first signal was to go to Parif because crow or raven people would be attacking that area, and then we discovered the plot with what is this guy's name?
Kame?
Pommelin?
Kame.
Kame is the entity. Who was the
Oh,
person,
Maik.
the mortal
Maik.
that was Maik? Oh wait, so that is essentially the same person, isn't it? It's just came backwards.
Mm-hmm.
We think. We
Ah.
assume. We believe.
As far as Paris, it was like someone named Cooley Landrel was, getting suspected of worshiping an evil god, but it was really like Galeth who was behind it.
Oh, that was who I was thinking of. Oh, Vita used article adjective. Easy. Almost like saying bad words.
Yeah.
Vita did a swear. Anyway, it was. Anyway, so
And
it
I
was
guess-
Galeth that was part of this plot.
Yes.
Okay.
We think.
Basically, anyone who's disagrees with the expansion of the empire was getting knocked down. Who else?
Oh, Jorgun.
Jorgut.
The
Yeah,
orc person that had abyssal written on them. They were
That's right.
disappeared.
Mm-hmm. They were almost disappeared. Yeah.
And we've been spending a lot of time trying to fight these cultists throughout all of this. There's been cultists attacking one town after another. We got a letter saying, basically explaining which one was going to be next. So we just went from one town to the next, trying to get a good read on the situation, try to figure out if we could figure out a way to stop this.
And it said not only where was going to be attacked, but what the cultists were going to be disguising themselves as
Yeah.
from the different nations.
Because the people attacking had to be something very specific to create unrest.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Should we mention the necromancy or?
Yeah, we might as well.
Okay.
Might as well come clean with it.
Wait, what about necromancy? What are we coming clean
Theseus
about?
bringing the guard back to
There
life
was that. Yeah.
to talk to him.
Oh, I mean, it's not really necromancy. It's just like you talk to a dead guy for a couple seconds.
What is difference?
It's not really stealing, it's just taking someone's possessions without their permission.
Thank you. I'm like, wait.
And then do we
on.
mention Vita's book that they found that Rogar had to
Oh god, the book that's not supposed
that
to
Rogar
exist.
sped away with?
Alright, then
Oh, the
we don't need to talk
Astral
about
Codex
It's
Safari? Oh. Sorry. You go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the Astral Codex Safari.
Okay,
Who
I have
has that, by the way?
Vita.
Vita.
Just
Mhm.
checking.
Rogar was
great.
very interested in it. If I remember correctly.
He was interested in it, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. So
But it is also very cursed, and Vita wants to go someplace less collateral damage
less populated?
before Vita tries to open. Less populated, less surrounded by friends, perhaps around wizards who know what they're doing. Vita guesses.
Probably a whole word for that here.
Are there any other like main points to bring up when we see Bree?
Make sure that we have the letter from Rogar. Make sure that we've got some credibility, and we're not just. Hey, we had a crazy.
Us.
And make sure that you have a name. Samulu is standing behind you guys as you're
Oh,
talking over this.
dear
Yeah.
God, that's
No.
Has anyone told you to like walk louder?
Quite
Or
the
not to-
opposite.
Please don't sneak up on people. Like that's how you get a knife in your throat.
I think I'm safe here. What's happened to your companions?
Um,
All right.
it's fine. They'll be back. The big one's taking care of the little one. We're dealing with it on our own. We can go and see the Empress though. They're taking care of it. It's fine.
Fine, follow me. And he just turns and starts walking up the door.
I thought he was gonna give us a harder time. Okay.
Cool.
So you following?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You go outside. There is hold on.
Hey, I'm going through all of my old notes.
Yeah.
Just a reminder for Red. Do you have the Doom Shroom, or is it in my pack?
I think I used mine. No, I still have it. I have
Vita
two
has-
Doom Shrooms. Yeah,
Oh.
I have two.
Okay. I
Vita
can
has
remember if
glowing mushrooms, but
Also, I still have that thing of pyre jelly in my haversack. Just for everyone to know, I've got a bomb in my bag.
we are aware. We're gonna
As
figure
we're
out a
going
way.
to see an Empress.
We need to find an alchemist who knows what they're doing to like put it into smaller containers that we can use.
Okay. As
That's
we're
what we
walking
need to
about,
do.
Rhythm like has this realization and just kind of looks at her haversack and shakes her head and keeps walking.
You guys don't walk very far because parked outside of this inn, there is a copper wagon with the Empress's seal on the door. Like it's a carriage, horse-drawn carriage that seems to hold roughly 8 people. That Samulu opens the door for and gestures you all in.
Well, this is the fanciest ride I think I've ever been in,
Red's immediate
and I get
Red's
it.
immediate thought. He looks at Herschel. Basically, just says this to Herschel. He's I'm not so sure about the structural integrity of this. Copper's a great metal to put on the outside of things, but structural, it's pretty malleable. Hopefully we hang on there.
This looks like grandparents' cooking pot. Vita steps
You
in.
may understand once we get there why it's this color. Let's keep moving.
Red
The
lets
driver.
everyone else in first before he gets in.
Okay.
Then it's a stare off between Red and I, because I'm equally untrustworthy of shit. It's like,
No.
Are you
Vita's
guys
in
getting
there
in or
fiddling
what?
with dressers and like shades and whatnot. They're like a child in any way.
Okay.
Should we
Samulu looks at
are
Red
we
and
rolling off to see who goes in first?
Samulu looks at Red and Rhythm and says, "I'm sorry. Is this functional for you?"
I mean, function.
Is this how this always works?
Not usually. Sometimes. Come on in, you two, or I'm going to.
How about this? He opens the door to the other side of the carriage. One of you come round.
Don't ask questions. Just get in van.
Get in the van.
Red says, Vita, jump up and down in the wagon real quick.
Okay. Boing, boing, boing.
Does it
Samulu
bow
looks
any?
like as no, it's not copper on the
Okay.
inside.
Red gets
Yeah, it's a copper
plated.
copper plated, copper shelled kind of
Red
thing.
gets in.
Yeah. Can we go?
I'm inside.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, sure.
Good. All right. The driver cracks a whip. Horses take off. You guys, if you're looking out the window, notice that everyone who sees this carriage immediately gets out of the way. They know what it means.
Red whispers to Samulu while they're. He says, "Could you ask the driver not to whip the horses while we're heading along here?"
Of course. And then he just doesn't.
Dick.
You guys are traveling for the better part of like 2 hours, though. Because again, this is a massive city, and you are like 3 districts away. Fortunately, because you're in a carriage deigned by the Empress, you can kind of just fucking speed. So, I mean, you get there way faster than you normally would have, but it still takes a while. Is there anything you would like to do on the journey heading in?
Vita is looking just at everything. It's almost to the point of overstimulation, just trying to take in absolutely every sight possible.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually doing the exact same thing, kind of just staring out at everything.
Vita turns in at one point and asks Samulu, "What is purpose of copper?"
Are you familiar with our Empress at all?
No.
Are you familiar with the various colorings of Dragonborn?
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
Vita gets it.
Isn't Ree a copper dragon? I feel like someone told us that.
Yeah, Dragonborn,
Dragonborn, I mean, not actual dragon, but yeah.
It would be prudent to refer to her as Your Majesty or Empress, but yes, Madame Beckon is of copper scales.
While we're all moving along, is there any way that Red can hop out up to the driver and take the whips and do some animal handling on the horses and be like,
Please. Red, please.
Red.
I'm totally here for this.
Wait. Both of you can talk to animals. Can you say?
No,
Can
I
you
don't.
just ask the horse if the horse
I
is
don't
happy?
have speak with animals.
I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals.
Okay. Red, go ahead, roll a persuasion check. Allie, Rhythm,
Yeah.
what are you saying to the horses?
I'm not talking to the horses, I'm talking to Herschel.
Okay.
Persuasion was a nat 20.
Ooh.
Okay. The guy looks at you for a few minutes, like just seeing you crawl out and just reach for the rein.
Like
He looks at
crawling
you for a
through
few
that
minutes.
front little window.
Yeah. He looks at you and he kind of like, it's like he's kind of sizing you up, and he's like, "All right," and he hands the reins to you.
Cool. I take them.
Oh wait, are you driving now?
Yeah, just to show the driver, and I start guiding the horses and getting them to go faster and slower, but I do it with verbal cues instead of whipped cues.
You might do that. Roll animal
Yeah,
handling.
let's do it. I get advantage on that.
Right, like if you can do, you can also do like hand signaling. Like there's all sorts
Yeah.
of dressage type.
I have
like,
a
non-whippy cues that you can give horses.
I have-
so it's not without.
+7 to animal handling. I rolled a 25.
Holy shit!
Nice.
If only there were a person here who could tell us all about horses. So, yeah, without question, the horses respond, and the driver, this is a day job for him. Like he doesn't know what he's doing. Like he's poor. He needed a job. Somehow he talked his way into driving the Empress's carriage.
Well, I also
or at least carriage in the employ of the Empress.
I lean over to him and I say to him, like, you can use this on pretty much any trained horse. It might, if you ever, need other jobs or do other things, this will come in handy for this.
You like speaking to the horses or something?
No.
How are you doing that then?
Most horses are trained the same way, and they're trained to accept these commands without resistance.
You got like a pamphlet or something that's got like like a book.
Yeah. Hey, how much further to the castle?
At this point, probably an hour.
Yeah.
About halfway there.
I'll have a full list for you. I'll write them all down in the carriage. I'll have one for you when we get there.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
With my Speak with Animals, I'm just gonna like look over Herschel and be like, that was kind of impressive.
Herschel's just gonna look back and go,
So-
he does that sometimes.
It worked out. That was actually a good move. Good move on him.
Red's gonna act like nothing, basically like nothing happened, and get back into the carriage, pull out some parchment, and start writing down instructions.
Okay. You hear the driver up front awkwardly trying to mimic what he heard you doing. Is anybody doing anything else?
I'm just face bombing.
So you take the rest of the ride.
Can I ask Samulu if there's like anything we should know before we get there about like the Empress and addressing her and all that shit?
Yes. I wish I had more time. So, the Empress is rumored to have the spirit of her ancestor, Esthus, inside of her. No one has accomplished as much for the Empire as she has, in terms of growth, peace, or reputation. She prefers using a silver tongue over violence. However, much like every other Dragonborn, she does have a breath weapon, and we have had to sweep bits of decayed flesh off of the throne room floor.
Samulu,
Yes.
what do you know of the expansionist thread going through politics right now?
There are various opinions amongst the nobility as to how we should handle our neighbors. There are old families who are running out of money, who are sympathetic to the cause that Mike has brought forward to us.
Who is
That was
Mike?
a DM slip, by the way, not a Samulu slip.
Cool. What sort of is the name Mike known here? What sort of influence does this person have within court?
Mike is relatively new. He's been in court for 7 years, I believe. He rose his way through the ranks by saving some young nobility, brought to court, honored with title, proven himself to be in the best interest of the empire, an outstanding orator, very charismatic.
What do you know what his coat of arms looks like?
His coat of arms was self-chosen as he was new nobility. His is the sigil of the raven.
Indeed. Vita messages Gaius and says, do we still have that letter with the symbol of the raven on it?
We should, yes.
I think so, yeah.
Great.
Either Gaius or I have it.
So Vita says this out loud. Vita is concerned that we will meet with considerable resistance to our story.
You only have to speak to the Empress at first. Given the weight of what you are bringing forth, you will have a private audience with her.
Is there any specific way we should address the Empress?
Respectfully.
As in,
Ma'am.
like, if we're saying, do we say ma'am? Do we say Empress? Do we say Your
Her
Highness?
Majesty.
Her Majesty.
The Empress. Anything flattering's not going to be ill-received.
Okay. As long as there's not, like, some kind of taboo.
I've learned we shouldn't call her Ree.
That's correct. Imagine you were speaking to a goddess. Err on that kind of caution.
Okay.
Money or divinity, both make gods.
You're more right than you know. I would advise all of you to prepare yourselves mentally. Feel free to ask me any other questions. We have a little bit of time. But do not falter in front of her.
Oh no, we're all headstrong. It'll be fine. That's not a worry whatsoever.
Vita had question and then it left. Crap.
To your previous point, there are plenty of people who disagree with the expansionist philosophy. I myself am of this school of thought. There has been no need for significant violence among the Beacon Empire for centuries now. We rule by currency, not iron.
So it is the motivation of Empress Ree to maintain this method, as far as you understand her wishes.
I wouldn't dare to assume the motivation of Empress Beckon. However, while at first she did seem resistant to the arguments of Mike, there have been some very convincing discussions in the throne room as of late.
Right.
Red,
Can
go ahead.
Wait.
no, you go. You go.
Maybe Vita was remember.
I have to do some quick research.
Oh.
One sec.
While Vita is researching, Red, upon hearing Samulu talking about rolling by currency, he remembers a question that he had from, back before all this began, and he wanted to ask someone, because he studies a lot and reads a lot, and he says, this currency that you speak of, that you rule by, is it a fiat currency, or is it backed by any sort of material wealth?
All of our currency is based on gold. The weight of gold is uniform for every coin that we mint in this empire.
So Vita is looking at the hit list that we appropriated from Galeth that was addressed. No, wait. Where did we get this hit list? Was it from?
We got it off of one of the
Mhm.
cultists.
Right. So Vita is noticing that Halls, Kenel, and Parian goblins seem to be the main fake aggressors to all of these towns in the Bekan Empire. Is there any particular animosity between the Bekan Empire and these communities, these peoples? It seems as if this plot is specifically to set them up as the immediate enemy.
There's no specific animosity. There is healthy suspicion, however. Hulse and Kenel are the only nations that share a direct border with us. Kenel is north of the island that we share with them. Our understanding is that they would not like to expand further south because the ash that guards their skin from the sun doesn't spread there. However, the ash does make farming complicated for certain species of crop and certain kinds of livestock. So we are always keeping an eye out there. Hulse is just on the other side of a very large wall to us. And while we have always had a very positive relationship with Hulse, we are not ignorant to the fact that they are locked between otherwise unhospitable nations to them. Perea, as you may or may not be aware, is a nation of less than savory creatures. There is always a fear, no matter where you go in the world, of Perea.
Red just turns to Samulu and waves his hand.
I kind of do the head nod.
He kind of he looks at Red and knowingly, and he's like, "That's it." He doesn't take back what he says at all.
Yeah.
Cool. So generalized racism and potential expansionist thinking. Great. So Vita understands this now.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I might ask how often you've been attacked by some of the beasts who call that place home. I would say that even
to members of that community.
Exactly. And they left for a reason, I'm sure.
Nah, not really.
Not because I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Noted.
Move outside of the sphere of nobility, Samulu. Perhaps more wisdom is gained from diversification.
Perhaps that's so. The issue at hand, however, is the future of our empire.
Ugh, Vita does not want to get into politics. Vita does not like this conversation.
There are plenty throughout the world who have the same distaste to dragonborns, so pot, meat, kettle, or something.
Samulu is elven, I believe.
No, but I mean, your Empress is dragonborn, so...
Yeah, let me double check though and make sure that I remember that correctly.
I think
Yeah,
so.
no,
Yeah,
In
he's
my
elven, he's
notes,
elven.
it says that he's elven.
Yeah. So Samulu, being elven, says there are plenty of races that do not keep me up at night, and there are plenty who do.
Mm. Right.
Sounds like a personal problem to me.
I would consider it so. Whether it be a race or a nation, there are people out there who don't mind acting counter to your interests. He looks at your arm and says, I take it that you've learned that the hard way.
Well, there's a story behind this.
I'm sure.
Need
The
to get
point
into it.
is, people do awful things, and certain kinds of people tend to do certain kinds of awful things.
You talk about humans?
Sometimes.
Mm.
Well, I really don't feel like arguing with you about this. I feel like your opinion is set in stone, and we don't have time to get into it.
Sure. And what great timing it was. If there's anything you need to ask, please do so now. We are arriving at the gates.
I'm good. I'm good on this.
Okay. You guys start towards, you're like at the base of a hill. You look out the window and you see something that you didn't think probably was ever possible. You see an entire structure that is the size of most cities that you've seen. There are walls around this castle with towers that are competing with each other for ingenuity. What starts in some of the older, more central towers as just being basic stone, clay tiled roof towers, as the structure moves out, you see creative colors. You see illusions that like give it a sheen. You see like odd shapes and things that are just a little bit off, almost tempting gravity to bring it down, but it doesn't. This place is unnervingly large and extraordinarily well defended. There are guards everywhere. There are incredibly beautiful gardens, though. The guards are kind of like tucked into these plantings and trees and well manicured bushes. You make your way to the top of the hill and you go through the portcullis. You're taken out of the carriage and you're kind of shoved into like a back access door kind of thing. Something you would imagine the servants use. And he goes, you'll excuse the discretion here, but again, sensitive nature. Go up these stairs, knock on the first door that you come to. The Empress is awaiting you.
Okay.
As we
Rhythm is doing everyone's favorite awkward, like taking the like nail of her dew claw and just like picking at the sleeve of her shirt. anxiously, because the fuck is this place huge?
As we
Yeah.
get out of the carriage, Red hands a sheet of parchment to the driver.
Thanks, man.
He just
That's real cool
he
what you
just
do.
nods his head and says, "Hope it works out for you."
Yeah, cheers, mate.
All right.
All right, are you guys gonna make your way up the stairs?
Well,
Question is
now or never,
is Herschel
folks.
allowed in the castle? Okay.
Yeah. Most of the nobility have their own exotic pets. It's not weird to see a giant cat.
Gotcha.
You guys notice this tower is roughly 12 stories high. And there is an archway, there's like a bridge that goes from it to one of the main structures that you're not sure how it's being held up, to be honest. It's just a thin, long archway going from the top of this tower to the main structure. As you go in the door, you see a long spiral staircase going up.
Okay, let's get this shit over with so we can leave, because this is not fun.
Yeah, I looked up outside and I felt like I was gonna fall over. So let's move on.
Okay. You go up about one flight of stairs. You guys are well traveled. Doesn't do anything to you. You go up the second flight of stairs. Again, you guys do a lot of walking, do a lot of fighting. You're in good shape. Not a big deal. You get to the third one. A little bit winded. Just a little
Vita is sensing power move and making parties walk up all of these flights of stairs.
Fourth flight of stairs. You feel it a little bit. You're going to have to go up 12 flights of stairs. I want everybody to make a constitution check.
Just a straight check.
Fine. So it's a check or constitution saving throw?
Check.
21.
Okay.
Ugh. Damn it! Wait. You know what? Fuck this. I'm going to use a luck point.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, great. Nat 20.
Yeah. I'm gonna be right back. Sorry.
Rolled a 9.
Okay.
I got a total of 3.
Okay.
I rolled a nat
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Oh, no!
So Rhythm catches on pretty quickly that if she just goes into cat mode and walks on all fours, this is way fucking easier. So she's just darting up the stairs like a cat would. Vita is like, that's a pretty fucking good idea, and also kind of does the same thing.
These are just full geckos up the side of the stairs.
Yeah. Gaius, you start like chanting old military stuff to yourself. You're like, all right, it's all in the mind. It's all in the. It's all in the mind.
Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
It's all in the mind.
Doesn't
And-
kill you, makes you.
The sweat starts to come down from your head. Red, for some reason, even though it seems like he could handle this well, is just like taking a step and going. Take a step. Take a step.
Red's thinking to himself, if this were the trail, it would be no problem. It's got to be something to do with indoors.
So, Rhythm and Vita, you wait for roughly 9 minutes before you see Gaius slowly step up the final step. And an additional 11 minutes before Red makes it.
Hey there, guys. You wanna like catch your breath? It's fine. Like that was shit.
Real quick, because Red rolled a nat 1 essentially on that roll, do a Constitution saving throw real quick.
Ugh.
You have made it. You've succeeded, but let's see if you're exhausted.
16.
Okay, you're fine.
Nice.
So even though like the burst of having to get up there just was like fucking impossible for you for some reason, you take a second, you compose yourself, and you're like, you know what? Good deep breaths. Just give me a second. I'm fine. And you're able to put yourself back together.
Fair enough.
You go through a wooden door, relatively, simple, unassuming thing, nothing regal about it. But as you step through it, there is one of the most beautiful dragonborns you've ever seen in your life. Like, legitimately looks like she is made out of the finest copper. Standing there, kind of like politely, but still kind of impatiently, like arms crossed, waiting on you guys. There are 8 chairs laid out around a table, and she sits at a much higher one, obviously, on the other end of the table. Hi. I hear you have news for me.
Thank Her Majesty for her patience. It was many stairs.
I apologize. This is a protected tower. Both magically and also most people give up after the 6th flight of stairs. If you don't mind, have a seat.
Okay. Thank you, Your Majesty.
Vito wondered.
She sits down at her higher chair. The image of regality, like elegant, very perfect posture. Her clothes are nice greens and blues that make the copper stand out, but they're not gaudy. Like, they're simple but very elegant, that kind of thing. It's primarily a blue robe with a green sash, kind of, not sash, but like the robe that holds it together, the part of the robe that holds it together is green. I don't know clothes words.
I'm getting a vibe of like Mother of Dragons sort of simplicity in style, but very clear tailoring that shows like high fashion and like she's not in it for the fashion, but goddamn, she's got some good dressers.
Exactly. She has to look good. She's the Empress, but at the same time, she needs functional, straightforward. She needs to be functional as well as she is regal.
So, what would be the equivalent of a general vibe check as like if the colloquial term for a vibe check within D&D?
Roll for vibe.
Yeah, well, actually, we did this in the Yalmora stream. We
Yeah.
just turned insight checks into vibe checks.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's
Okay.
that's a canon thing in Yalmora, so. Tune in on Wednesdays to find out how many vibe checks we can successfully complete.
Oh, girl. May I do a
Yes.
vibe check?
Insight.
Oh god.
Okay, I got an 11,
They're dying.
and I'm not gonna waste another luck point on my crap roll.
So, I will give you, even with an 11, she is practiced at being almost mannequin-like.
You
Like,
have to be.
Poker face, nothing given away by any body language, facial expressions, that kind of stuff.
Pop, 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 poker face, pop, pop, poker face. Sorry, I had to. It was there. Okay.
It's fine. She looks at each of you and she goes, so first of all, what do you call yourselves?
Who wants to do it?
We're the Charismaniacs. It's a long story.
Oh shit, we made this is out of game, but we made the queen bust a smile there. If the DM's
No,
did.
you didn't. You made
We
the DM
did.
bust a smile.
the DM is the queen.
She gives you Mark Zuckerberg face.
Sure.
Hang on,
sure
hang on,
he
Devoid
does.
face,
hang on, hang on.
devoid of all life and soul.
Okay, sorry. It
Perfect.
just
She goes, thank you, Senator. She looks at each of you with that like dead eye questioning, like, did you just dare to crack a joke in front of the fucking Empress? Are you fucking with me? Kind of look.
We've proven ourselves regardless of our name with many people who I feel can vouch for the work that we do.
Do you travel with a bard?
No.
You should.
That's fair.
Vita gets really excited because it's like the idea of getting a puppy. Just like, ooh, Vita wants Bard. Can Vita get Bard? But they contain themselves. They're in front of the Empress.
I whisper to Vita, we do have a mimic, so...
Oh, true. Maybe he can multi-class.
You trying to listen?
Yeah.
Anyway, right. So who wants to be the first to kind of present the case, or shall we all just kind of chime in?
Oh, I gave our name. I'm not saying anything else.
Great.
My understanding from Tanril
Oh, great.
is that a certain member of my court has been conspiring against us.
Vita pulls out a rubbing of the raven seal that was on some of the missives, along with the copy of the letters that we got, and basically passes over the rubbing and asks, does Her Majesty recognize this sigil?
It's the sigil of Mike.
We believe that Mike might be responsible for a plot to destabilize and start wars with specific nations adjacent to Her Majesty's kingdom.
It is not news to hear that Mike is interested in starting wars. He has been very vocal about this in court.
But he is attacking the people of Beacon and maligning the names of these nations who genuinely are not attacking your kingdom.
And conspiring with a literal fiend. That too.
What is the evidence of this?
Okay.
Okay.
We ordered our thoughts and then they are gone.
Yes, you did.
We started this whole expedition, interestingly enough, separated. We all dreamed a very similar dream of, what is the city that...
Corwell.
We all had a dream of the city of Corwell being destroyed by the fiend we now know as Kame.
No, you didn't.
No?
No,
He was named in the dream as Ball.
Oh, Ball. Never mind.
Yep.
In a very interesting way, we all arrived at the city of Corwell and came into contact with the priest Tanriel, and we learned that the dream was from the quiet gods. And further dreams that our friend Tanriel has received mentioned that we needed to go to the city of Parif and deal with the Raven people that were going to attack. In many ways, we have fell across all of the evidence since then, and Vita begins to explain the intricacies of what happened and how they came across the information that they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the city of Parif.
And towards the end of like explaining, I'll say, or chime in that at the last city we were in, where we went against the cultists, we, in connection with Rogar, were able to interrogate a cultist, and it's from him that we learned of Kame's involvement in the cult of ravens.
Vita and Rhythm, make a persuasion check.
Well,
Okay.
persuasion. Okay. I got a 14.
Okay.
You said persuasion?
Yeah.
Okay. 17.
Okay. I will admit that all of this seems troubling, and that all of this does put Mike in a bad light. However, you are asking me to place the life of one of my nobles in the hands of a dead testimonial.
I never said the cultist was dead.
I'm assuming Vita told that because you guys said you were going to be upfront about the about that. Guy said that you guys should be upfront about it.
Oh, damn. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Vita understands that this is a very delicate problem, but at the very least, Vita is concerned for the trustworthiness of this person.
And the power that he's gaining.
The power that is being gained, also, we have met all of these wonderful cities. This is the first time Vita has ever been to the Bekan Empire, and there are many wonderful people who very well would have been slaughtered or enslaved had we not come across this plot. It would do well not to ignore at the very least.
For the first time, you see a little bit of emotion cross her face as, like, sort of sympathetic as she says, "My child, no nobility is trustworthy. That's why they are nobility.
Huh.
However,
Vita rocks back and considers this.
there are laws, there are protections, and if I am to do anything to help you in this, I need something more."
Red's going to mutter under his breath. He's just going to mutter under his breath and say, "And who wrote those laws?"
Oh,
She
no.
she looks directly at you and she goes, "My ancestors."
They were nobility.
In a sense, and sometimes more.
Would the testimony of Rogar bear more weight? Because Rogar was present for a good deal of the more interesting and more there's a specific word I'm looking for. The more immediate information that we have received.
I would love to have Rogar come speak in front of the court about this. However, Rogar is moving towards Avalon on my behest. It could be months before he returns.
I'm gonna ask out of character, is there a way to, like, basically call in on the different priests and the different individuals that we have had dealings with and basically bring their, especially I think the story in Parif is probably the most crucial to connecting Maik with this. So I feel like the stories of Pomwin, the stories of the leadership folk who were part of us uncovering all of this will probably give more light to us just giving the Empress hearsay.
It's up to you how you want to do that.
It's more of a magic question. Is there a way we can, like, sending stone this? Like, because oh no, Theseus has our sending stone!
No, I've got it.
But also sending stones are attuned to the other stone.
Yeah, I can only reach Tanreal. And I mean, we can play a game of telephone, but that's not very helpful, especially currently sitting in the presence of the Empress.
No, yeah. What sort of would it be disrespectful to ask her what sort of proof would be conclusive enough to allow her to take action? Like, do we need to catch this person red-handed?
Or can she grant us some kind of leeway in investigating him? Like, does he have quarters here? Does he have dealings here?
Are you asking in character?
Yes. Is there any way you can grant us some ability to investigate this further and gather more proof for you?
To your first question, Mike's chambers are in the Heart District, where most of the nobility live. I cannot give you any authority that you don't already have, because doing so would require me to fill out paperwork that is accessible to any of the nobility.
No paper trail.
I might suggest that you try something either charismatic or maniacal.
Vita feels very confident in this course of action.
Usually this course of action seems to fit well with our groove. Anyway, couple of side evidence crap. I have a carved bone statuettes of Raven that we found on some of the cultists. I present that. I present the note that had been that we translated from
Abyssal.
Abyssal.
And I also have the translation. I slide those over.
It's sounding like we still only really have circumstantial stuff to connect Mike to it, because like the note to Galith had the sigil of the Raven.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they were clever enough to keep names out of it.
Yeah.
And it was only just hearsay. Like, I understand like what she's saying. This is all still very circumstantial. We need to have something a little harder. Like, for example, I'm looking at the interview with the dead person that we had, just like the things that they said. I think if we can connect Kame to Mike on any level.
Yeah, more directly.
Mm.
Yeah. It should be clarified. We've danced around this a little bit, but I'll give you that the discussion that you had with the dead cultist, he did not say that Mike was a follower of Kame. He said that Mike was Kame.
Mike, was Kame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do we talk to the Empress a little bit about Kame, about like what we know about at least what the?
That's up to you.
I guess
we have reason to believe, and Rogar can also speak to this point, as he overheard most of the interrogation with the one cultist. But we have reason to believe that Kame and Mike are one and the same.
The flipping of their names, one is the other backwards, is hard to overlook. But of course, Vita does understand this still looks to be circumstantial.
There are many people with the same first name, so like I'm sure that's not out of the question.
Yeah, but we have reason to believe that it's not just a coincidence.
Perhaps there's some way to reveal him before myself or others, but what that is your expertise, not mine.
I mean,
Mm.
we have to reveal him in
do
front of
you
everybody.
have in court? Do you have systems in place to bar magic from disguising a true form? Like, in your presence, is there something in some protections sorted so people can't just, like, fake who they are in front of you?
Are there protections? Yes. Are they foolproof? No.
Mm.
Certain kinds of casters can get through those kinds of defenses.
Wait a minute. Okay. I hate this. So, Vita is very reluctant to speak of this, but they pull out the Astral Codex of Fari and lay it down and explain like the significance of the book and how we came across it. Would the information in this book be helpful to your knowledge, or is there an expert within your employ that could tell us?
How much did I tell you guys about this already?
That is not supposed to exist.
We know
I'm
it's
sure
a
you
book.
did, but I forgot.
It's not supposed to exist.
Yeah.
Or something like that, or it's supposed to have been destroyed. It's not supposed to be around anymore.
Yeah, it's a book that didn't exist in... Was it Tanriel who had the, like, master list of books that exist? No, it was the priest who we were gonna get brochures from next time we went to their town. Can't remember.
Oh no.
They asked for information and I walked out on them. We know very little about the book because none of us have touched it.
It
Yeah,
is
I'll-
unsafe to open said book, so we have not been able to safely open it and gain more information. We discovered that there was a curse set upon it, so Vita does not want to open it and potentially endanger Her Highness. But this feels too important to just see as circumstantial or brush aside.
I need to go back through our VODs, which, by the way, you can watch on YouTube if you'd like to know all the stuff that's happened up to now. I need to go back through our VODs and see what all I've told you guys. She takes a look at it. She picks it up with her hands, unafraid. And she goes,
She's more of a beast than any of us.
opening this book won't hurt anybody. It'll just destroy the book.
It
Oh.
will hurt Vita if that happens. Vita wants to read it.
There are protections on this book, and just opening it will destroy it. This is part of what I have sent Rogar to Abalon to help look into. We're noticing that books of this nature keep finding their way there. And while Abalon and Zephyl in general are a place of academic interests, when items of power move to one place, we take interest.
This book was carried by someone very possessed who was looking over the map and seemed to be connected with the cultists' plot. They had been taken over, something else was riding their body to some end we were not able to ascertain, but Vita has
the
a strong
creature-
feeling. Yeah,
The creature in question was an intellect devourer.
right.
What makes you think that it was connected to the cultist?
Why do I think that? I'm not sure. Because
It was too much of a coincidence.
the use of abyssal information, the connection to a devil that is that has aspirations to destruction, anything abyssal that comes up adjacent to this feels important to not to at least pay attention to and follow through the lead.
Intellect devours are not devils, though. They're aberrations.
Their operations. Okay.
Aberrations, yeah.
Aberrations. I don't know. It may not be connected, but Vita wants to be sure.
This is... It's hard to explain. Have you ever gained a foundational understanding of something that made you significantly better at using that thing? Learn something in theory or learn something mechanically about it that changed the way you interacted with it.
Yes.
Vita would love that.
That's what these books do for the planes and reality. Those who can understand these books can manipulate the very weave on which magic rests.
I'm gonna pull Vita aside real quick and say, and whisper to Vita, this might be a way to expose Kame. If we can get
Vita agrees.
If we can get you to understand this and change your ability to do whatever it is in this book, it might be useful in ousting him or outing him as well.
Are you trying to say this stealthily?
I'll roll a check.
It's fine. She rolled a 3.
So yeah.
Cool, because I rolled a 2, but it's actually an 8. So.
Hey.
It's still, would have been a 5 for perception for her.
So, yeah, I think getting this book open without it self-destructing is probably maybe not like our highest priority, but like a tertiary one, because I feel like it'll be nothing but useful.
Mm-hmm. She looks at how curiously you are looking at this, and she kind of like dips down to get eye contact with you, Vita. And
Their frills extend just a little because they realize they weren't paying attention.
She looks at you and says, "Perhaps avoid this one. It's driven people insane who should have been able to handle it."
At the same time, the only thing I can say is, since counting us, 8 of us have...
7.
I'm counting Herschel.
7.
Still 7? Oh, I'm counting Matchbox 22.
Oh, okay.
That's why I had 8 listed down.
Vita's already somewhat mad, so this is not entirely out of Vita's purview, but Vita will take under advisement that this is a very dangerous book.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the Empress and say, like, ever since the 8 of us have come into contact, like, as we've been journeying, yes, all of these things seem to be coincidental and haphazardly connected, but I can't help but feel this is much more than just coincidence. And the fact that this book can open the possibility for one to have knowledge across planes just adds to that, because if Kame is attempting to gain a foothold in this world, what better way than to drive people mad with understandings of the planes.
And what's better kingdom from which to begin than this
the
one?
The most powerful.
What better empire, pardon?
Perhaps it's so... I will say, if Kame is what you say he is, a devil. Devils don't tend to work with aberrations. They don't tend to work with intellect devourers. That is the domain of the mind flayers.
Ugh.
It is.
It would
But
be an odd partnership, for sure.
at the same time, if he's taking advantage of an opening.
Wait. Mind devourers would be very useful to create willing cultists, no? To brainwash them?
Possibly?
Yes and no. The little bit that I know about mind flayers is that's kind of what they do, but only for the illithids, not for devils.
Perhaps the mind devourers, are they different sorts? Are those more amenable to being led, or are they similar to the mind flayers?
Oh, she rolled surprisingly high to have knowledge of mind flayers.
Now I want to know what you do.
Illithids are typically run by something called an elder brain. And they have pets, perhaps is the best word, that they use for certain tasks called intellect devourers. They're a group unto themselves most of the time, though. Illithids don't like any other species aside from enslaving them, destroying them. They don't like the other extraplanar creatures, the devils and demons, and the Gith and Githyanki, and tend to not play nicely together.
So this may very well be a different line of inquiry altogether. Perhaps.
Thinking back, can is there a possibility to roll like an intelligence or history or something for basically remembering that Belle was the one in our dream that initially brought us together versus Kame, and if I would know any association between the two of them, or if there's any kind of correlation.
Is there a pattern of any kind connecting the two?
Roll Arcana or Religion.
Can I give a help action?
Roll a separate roll, but yes.
Okay.
You said Arcana or what?
Religion.
Oh, I'm equally bad at both of those. Okay.
15.
Oh, that's a nat 20 though.
Ooh, girl. Okay.
Okay. They're both
it makes
devils.
it only a 22, but
They're both devils. Kame is a relatively long forgotten prince of the first layer of the Nine Hells.
Mm-hmm.
Ball is the dethroned former prince of the Nine Hell, the first level of the Nine Hell.
Oh, interesting.
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Yes. Kame is a long forgotten nobility duke of the first layer of the first of the Nine Hells, Avernus. Ball is the dethroned former prince of that layer. There was a lady named Zerial who came in at some point and basically told Ball, hey, you're doing a really fucking bad job at running this layer of hell, and I can do a better job. She changed her alignment, became evil, and took over the first layer of hell, and significantly changed the tides of war and the blood war between demons and devils.
Wow.
Okay.
As an aside, that's just aspirational. This woman came in, came and like cracked that glass ceiling wide the fuck open. Like,
I
get it, bitch.
I guess I've already packed the Descent into Avernus, but if you look at the cover of Descent into Avernus, she's the person on the cover of that book.
Where?
Zariel is.
Okay.
This Ball is the guy that she dethroned. He's not super happy about it, but he hasn't left the first layer of hell yet.
Okay.
So what would motivate him to get involved in the city of not Parith, but Corwell? Interesting. I'm saying this to myself and not in character.
Okay. Then I will not offer help.
Maybe they're trying to like break down the walls between the hells and this realm. Maybe Cain wants him in power, or maybe Cain just wants power here himself, and somehow that's gonna
Sounds
bring
like-
other devils.
It sounds like Kame is a lower level bro, even though like our guy Ball was like a prince of a layer of hell. Like it sounds like Kame is a smaller fish in this sea. Is this a correct
Yes.
conclusion? Okay.
Yes. In fact, before we end tonight's stream, I can give you a little bit of information from Dragon 75.
Woo.
Burp, 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 burp.
So let's see. Just because Allie rolled a nat 20.
Yeah. It was on the Christmas dice too from Rob.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's also in the same thing of an article called "The Ecology of the Mimic," which is funny to me.
Aw.
Is he made of oak
Is
or
there a way
poplar?
God, this is like episode 1 shit going back.
Kame is what's considered a greater devil.
Mm-hmm.
He's an outcast devil, but he's bound to Avernus. He is a gossip and a sneak, and he is particularly disliked in the Nine Hells.
Mm-hmm.
He is, however, a skilled orator, and he can always make his own actions or opinions seem reasonable. And he often seeks to dupe intruders, partly because he considers the flesh of elves and men delicious.
Oof.
Kame appears as a large, upright, darkly handsome bird, a thrush, with a long, sharp beak and a belt about the hips.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! Can we relay this information to the Empress?
You sure?
Yeah, I'm like, how much do you know about the Devil Came?
I do my best to stay out of the affairs of the Nine Hells.
Then I just go ahead and explain what he is usually like recognized as, depicted as, and like go over that whole bullshit. I'm like, and our dear friend Mike chose for his sigil a raven. All of these raven things are associated, and Tanriel can attest that the dream which brought us all together and took us to Tanriel in the first place had to do with raven people attacking Corwell.
Corwell in the city of Parith specifically.
As you
Yeah.
can see, Her Majesty, subtlety is not Kane's specialty.
To an extent, yes, it is. Though, I'm saying this out of
It is, but
character.
he's surprisingly like, by being good at it, he's bad at it because it's expected.
Oh yeah, hard Loki
Wait.
energy, hard Marvel Loki energy with this bitch.
Sorry, I've been mispronouncing this, by the way. It was Bel who was cast out of Avernus. I've been saying
Bel.
Ball because of the other rival Yahweh god thing.
All right, yeah. Okay.
So,
I'm basically like, this is too much to just be coincidence. You have to make some decision. Your newfound nobility is shit.
Re. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. looks over her shoulder and she goes, Alias, does this check out? And a tall, lean, bearded man in robes suddenly becomes visible in front of you.
Oh shit.
Yeah, none of us
Excuse me.
rolled to look around the room when we came in.
Oh, the vibe check. I bet it did a vibe check and it didn't do well. So yeah.
It's very obviously a very well-traveled wizard, and he just kind of comes down to her and he goes, "Yeah, no, that's all right. Actually, yes, it's all right." And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh!
It's all right.
No,
See,
what's
here's the
gonna
thing.
happen?
I like Ree. I like her deal. I like how she does business. This is precisely what I would do. I would probably have several more people fully fucking invisible watching the whole thing. Like, yes, well done.
If it helps, this is a thing. This is the only character I know this for, but Ree is a Scorpio.
What?
Yes!
Because Ree is loosely based off of one of my exes.
Oh no!
Yeah. Not in a bad situation. Like, she was a good person. It's not a problem. But
Okay, but just like that deeply suspicious, like stone-faced, not going to tell you shit unless you kind of will maybe affirm it if you guess it kind of shit, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that Red and I were more suspicious of the carriage than this room.
I just don't want.
Yeah. Also, so the character that you just met, Alias, is actually a character that I'm working on for some of the short stories that I write. Which, by the way, if you're watching this and you want to know more about the lore, go to almorarpg.blogspot.com. I have short stories that I've written there. There's a short story that has to do with Vita's ancestor. There are like lost letters from people from the Bards colleges and so forth. There's all kinds of weird shit there. Some of it's good, some of it's confusing. All of it's related to this.
It'll be in the link tree probably
I'm throwing
tomorrow.
it up in the chat right now.
But Alias is a wizard who will be putting together a lot of those short stories. He's the person who goes out and gathers lore. And I love this character. You guys will see more of him next week.
Dope.
I love this character because I decided, like, I the more I thought about him, the more I realized who he was. And I realized that his name was Alias because he said to himself when he was a young wizard, most wizards don't go by their mundane names. They go by some kind of alias.
Oh my god,
Dear
it's like having
God.
password as your password.
Yeah, I love this
God
guy.
damn it.
He's so fucking great. Anyway.
On that note, y'all, we're ending early so that we can do some housekeeping chats. Tune in Wednesday for Yalmora.
Yeah, it'll be
Watch
chaos.
out for your vibe checks.
Absolute chaos. Watch out for the vibe checks.
Vibe check.
We'll see you later, nerds.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, nerds.